prehistoric people around the world chose to recreate nature through their art. Those are human. That's what connects us to the people who made these 25,000 years ago.
People have always been creative, even thousands of years ago. Today, we call their old drawings and carvings art. But back then, they probably had different meanings and purposes. Some of these ancient artworks have been discovered in caves, on rocks, or hidden deep in the earth. These are some of the ancient paintings that were lost to time and completely hidden from us. 1. Frescoes from the tomb of Nebamun.
One of the tools which is known as the shadoof. They've been using the shadoof until the Romans introduced the water wheels. So here we can see some beautiful paintings from the tomb, and this is like description of heaven.
The tomb of Nebamun, dating back to around 1350 BCE, is home to some amazing ancient Egyptian paintings. These artworks show scenes from Nebamun's life, a middle-ranking official in Thebes, and they were found in the early 19th century. Now, they're displayed in the British Museum. The paintings include scenes like Nebamun hunting birds with his wife and daughter in the Nile marshes, symbolizing life and renewal. There are also scenes of big parties with guests, dancers, and musicians, highlighting the fun and rich life Nebamun had. Other pictures show farming activities, like herding cattle and geese, showing his wealth. These paintings were done on dry plaster, using natural colors which have lasted for centuries. Nebamun worked as a scribe and grain counter at the Temple of Amun. 2. The Lindisfarne Gospels.
The Lindisfarne Gospels is one of the oldest and the best example of an earlier medieval manuscript. It was created on the island of Lindisfarne off the coast of Northumberland around 700 AD, and it's especially significant for its artistic brilliance.
The Lindisfarne Gospels is a special book made around 715-720 CE at a monastery on Lindisfarne, an island off the coast of Northumberland, England. This book is known for its beautiful artwork and is a great example of insular art, mixing styles from different cultures like Mediterranean, Anglo-Saxon, and Celtic. Edfrith, who was the Bishop of Lindisfarne, is believed to have created the manuscript to honor Saint Cuthbert, a key figure in Northumbrian Christianity. Although the fancy cover it once had is lost, the book itself has survived, even through Viking attacks on the monastery. The Gospels include the stories of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Each story starts with a colorful carpet page filled with patterns and a portrait of the evangelist. The manuscript also has canon tables that help compare similar passages from the four Gospels. 3. The Aldobrandini Wedding. The Aldobrandini wedding is an important ancient Roman fresco from the late 1st century BC, now in the Vatican museums. It was found around 1600 in a house near the Arch of Gallienus in Rome. The painting got its name from the Aldobrandini family, who owned it until 1818, when it was bought by the Vatican. The fresco shows a wedding scene with mythological figures. It was originally part of a wall decoration in a Roman house on the Esquiline Hill, but is now broken on both ends. The scene has both indoor and outdoor elements, with key figures like the bride, a Roman matron, a young man believed to be the god of marriage, and a woman thought to be Venus, the goddess of love. 4. Frescoes from the Tomb of the Diver.
Here's the great pool at the Pastium ruins. It's 50 meters long by 20 meters wide, and it goes from the shallow at the far end to a depth of about 8 to 10 feet here. And what is really amazing about this is this whole area here is a labyrinth for underwater swimming.
The frescoes from the Tomb of the Diver, found in the museum at Paestum, Italy, date back to around 500 to 475 BCE. This tomb is special because it's the only Greek wall painting with scenes from that time. The tomb is made from 5 big limestone slabs and is about 215 x 100 x 80 cm in size. Inside, the walls and ceiling are painted with bright colors that have lasted a long time. The most famous painting is on the ceiling and shows a person diving into water, which might symbolize death or moving to another world. The walls of the tomb are decorated with scenes from a Greek banquet, called a symposium. These scenes show people reclining, drinking, playing music, and enjoying games. 5. Man riding a dragon. The silk painting depicting a man riding a dragon is an ancient Chinese artwork from the Warring States period, around the 4th to 3rd century BCE. It was found in 1973 in a tomb in Changsha, Hunan province, and is now in the Hunan Provincial Museum. The painting is about 37.5 cm by 28 cm and shows a man riding a dragon holding reins in his hands. The dragon has a body shaped like a boat, with its head and tail raised, symbolizing power. There's also an egret sitting on the dragon's tail and a carp swimming below, both seen as signs of good luck. 6. Venus of Hohlefels.
Discovery of the female figurine from Hohlefels is really revolutionary in the field. It's the earliest find of this kind that we have anywhere, and it really changes our image of how people viewed their world about 35 or even 40,000 years ago.
The Venus of Hohlefels is a tiny prehistoric statue made from mammoth ivory, created around 35,000 to 40,000 years ago during the Upper Paleolithic period. It was found in 2008 in the Hohlefels cave in Germany and is one of the oldest known pieces of art showing a human figure. The statue has exaggerated body parts, like large breasts and a pronounced vulva, but it doesn't have a head. Instead, there's a small loop at the top, so it might have been worn as a necklace. The body is short and wide, with big shoulders and thick legs. There are deep cuts on the abdomen and other areas, which might have been decorations like tattoos. 7. Abstract figures in Coa Valley. The abstract figures in the Coa Valley are part of a huge collection of ancient rock art found in northeastern Portugal. These engravings, which were made about 22,000 to 10,000 years ago, include pictures of animals, people, and lots of abstract shapes. The abstract figures are different from the more realistic drawings of animals and people. They are made up of geometric shapes like lines, dots, and other patterns. These designs might have had special meanings for the people who created them, possibly for rituals or communication. The artists used techniques like pecking and rubbing to carve these designs into the rock. Because they were made so well, these engravings have lasted for thousands of years. 8. Lion Man of the Hohenstein Stadel. The Lion Man of Hohenstein Stadel is a really old statue made from mammoth ivory dating back about 35,000 to 40,000 years. It was found in 1939 in a cave in Germany and is one of the oldest statues ever discovered. The statue is about 31 centimeters tall and shows a body like a human's, but with the head of a cave lion. Unlike modern lions, the lion in the statue doesn't have a mane. The person who made it used flint tools and spent over 400 hours carving it, which shows they were very skilled. The Lion Man was found deep inside the cave, along with other tools and jewelry, suggesting the cave was a special place, maybe for rituals. This statue might represent a shaman or a god, showing how early humans thought about the world and their place in it. 9. Animals in the Chauvet Cave.
Sealed shut for tens of thousands of years, this place was discovered by cavers in 1994.
Chauvet Cave, located in southeastern France, is famous for its amazing prehistoric art that's about 30,000 to 32,000 years old. It was discovered in 1994 and has some of the best preserved cave paintings from ancient times. Inside the cave, you'll find lots of drawings of big animals like lions, mammoths, rhinos, horses, and bears. These animals were important to the people back then, but not all were hunted, so the drawings might have had special meanings or been used in rituals. The artists used different techniques like drawing, painting, and engraving with charcoal and ochre. They even made handprints by pressing their palms against the rock. The cave is split into sections, with some areas showing mostly red images and others black figures. 10. The negative hand. Negative handprints found in prehistoric caves are a mysterious form of ancient art. To make them, people placed their hand on the cave wall and blue pigment, like charcoal or ochre, around it, leaving an outline of the hand. This method, called stenciling, was used in caves across Europe, Asia, Australia, and the Americas. These handprints are really old. Some are over 40,000 years old in Europe and from around 7300 BC in South America. While we don't know exactly what they meant, they might have been used in rituals, as a way to sign the cave or to show someone had been there. Some handprints are missing fingers, which could mean different things like sign language or even amputation. 11. Venus of Barakat Ram. The Venus of Barakat Ram is a tiny pebble found in 1981 at Barakat Ram on the Golan Heights in Israel. It's really old, dating back between 230,000 and 700,000 years, and is thought to be one of the earliest pieces of prehistoric art. The pebble is made of scoria, a type of volcanic rock, and it's small, about the size of a large coin. What makes it special are the grooves and marks on it that make it look like a simple female figure. These grooves didn't happen naturally. Someone carved them. A scientist named Alexander Marshak used a microscope to study the pebble and confirmed that early humans or hominids made these markings. 12. Rock art of Tadrat Akakis. The rock art of Tadrat Akakis is a bunch of old paintings and carvings found in the mountains of southwestern Libya. These artworks are super old, going back as far as 12,000 years before now. They show us what life was like in the Sahara a long time ago. At first, the art shows big animals like elephants, giraffes, and rhinos when the area was much wetter. Later on, people started drawing humans with round heads and no faces. As time went on, the pictures began to show people with cows, showing that they were starting to raise animals. Then, the drawings included horses and chariots, which means people were moving around more. The most recent art shows camels, which became important for getting around and trading. 13. Cupules. Cupules are small, bowl-like dents in rocks that you can find in many places around the world. They're usually round and can be as small as a few centimeters or as big as a few inches across. People made these cupules long ago by chipping away at the rock with a hard tool, and sometimes you find them grouped together in patterns. No one is exactly sure why ancient people made cupules, but some think they might have been used in special rituals, like for good luck or to ask for something. Others think they could have been used for grinding or other practical jobs. These cupules are really old, with some dating back thousands of years to the Upper Paleolithic era. 14. Neanderthal wall carvings. Neanderthal wall carvings are ancient drawings made by Neanderthals on cave walls. The most important find was at the La Roche-Cotard cave in France, and these carvings are over 57,000 years old. The carvings are made up of lines and dots, and they were probably made with fingers or simple tools. They look organized and planned, which means Neanderthals were pretty smart and creative. The cave was sealed off with dirt around the time the carvings were made, so we know they were done by Neanderthals because they also found old stone tools in the cave. This discovery shows that Neanderthals were more advanced than we once thought. They could create art and think symbolically, just like early modern humans. 15. The Upper Paleolithic Period. The Cave of Altamira in Spain is famous for its amazing prehistoric cave art, made around 36,000 years ago during the Upper Paleolithic period. Inside the cave, you can find colorful paintings and engravings, mainly of animals like bison, horses, deer, and wild goats. The bison paintings are the most well-known, showing the animals in a realistic way that captures their shape and features. There are also handprints and human-like figures, which might have had special meanings for the people who made them. The artists used natural colors like ochre and charcoal, and they cleverly used the cave's rocky surfaces to make the images look more three-dimensional. The art at Altamira mixes realistic and stylized designs with animals shown in lively poses. 16. X-ray art. The rock carvings at Uber are a special collection of Aboriginal art in Kakadu National Park, Australia. This site has been a place for painting and carving for thousands of years. Some of the art is over 40,000 years old, with most made around 2,000 years ago. People still add to it today. The art at Uber shows different styles. There's X-ray art, where animals like barramundi and wallabies are shown with their insides and bones. Some paintings even show early European settlers. You can also see Mimi spirits, which are slender figures thought to have taught people how to hunt and paint. 17. The Dordogne art. The Dordogne region in France is famous for its amazing prehistoric cave art. The Lascaux caves, discovered in 1940, are filled with over 600 paintings of big animals like bulls, horses, and deer. The Great Hall of the Bulls is the most famous part. The artists use natural colors like ochre and charcoal. The original cave is closed now to protect it, but you can visit replicas like Lascaux 2 and IV to see what the paintings look like. Another site, Grotte de Rouffignac, is known as the Cave of 100 Mammoths because it has engravings and paintings of mammoths and other ancient animals. You can even take an electric train inside to see them. 18. Art in Grotta dei Cervi. The Grotta dei Cervi, or Cave of the Deer, is an important prehistoric site in Otranto, Italy. Inside, you'll find amazing rock art created during the late Neolithic period, which is about 20,000 years more recent than many famous cave paintings from the Paleolithic era. The cave is named after the many paintings of deer found there. These deer might have been important in hunting rituals or ancient stories. There are also paintings of people in the cave, often shown in action, like hunting or doing rituals. Some of the art even shows hunters with their dogs. Besides animals and people, there are geometric shapes and patterns that might have had special meanings. 19. Gobustan Cave Paintings. The Gobustan Cave Paintings are in Azerbaijan and show some really old rock art from about 5,000 to 20,000 years ago. This site, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has over 6,000 rock carvings that give us a peek into the lives of ancient people who lived there. The carvings show all kinds of things. There are pictures of people hunting, dancing, and doing rituals. You can also see animals like wild horses, deer, and goats. Some pictures even show boats, hinting that people might have traveled or traded with others. 20. The Great Sphinx of Giza. The Great Sphinx of Giza is a huge statue in Egypt with a lion's body and a human head. It's near Cairo and was built a really long time ago, around 4,500 years ago, during the rule of Pharaoh Khafre. The Sphinx is one of the biggest statues in the world, about 240 feet long and 66 feet tall. This statue was made to protect the area around the pyramids, and it symbolizes strength and power. It has a human face with a royal headdress and a lion's body, showing both courage and kingship. Over time, the Sphinx has been worn down by wind and sand, and its nose is missing. Some people think it was damaged by vandals long ago. 21. The Rhais Bronzes. The Rhais Bronzes are two big bronze statues of warriors from ancient Greece, made around 460–450 BC. They were found in the Mediterranean Sea near Rheims, Italy, in 1972 by a diver named Stefano Mariottini. One statue, called Statue A, shows a younger, strong warrior standing proudly. The other, Statue B, shows an older warrior with a more relaxed pose and a kind face. They were made by different artists about 30 years apart, showing the changes in Greek art during that time. The statues were made using a special technique that included adding details like eyes made of stone and lips made of copper. Originally, the warriors held spears and shields, and one even had a helmet pushed back on his head. 22. The Laocoon and his sons. The Laocoon and his sons is a famous statue from ancient Greece that shows a Trojan priest named Laocoon and his two sons being attacked by giant snakes. Here's some stuff about this amazing sculpture. It was found in 1506 on a hill in Rome and was quickly recognized as a masterpiece described by an old writer named Pliny. It's been in the Vatican museums ever since. The statue is made from 6 big pieces of marble and is about 6 feet 8 inches tall. It shows Laocoon and his sons in pain as they struggle with the snakes. The muscles and faces are shown in a very dramatic way, which was popular in that time. 23. Terracotta Army. The Terracotta Army is a huge collection of clay statues that show the army of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. Made around 210 to 209 BCE, these statues were buried with the emperor to guard him in the afterlife. Farmers found them by accident in 1974 near Xi'an, China. The army includes over 8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots, and 520 horses. The figures are different heights based on their rank, with generals being the tallest. Each statue looks different, with its own face, hairstyle, and clothes, and they were originally painted in bright colors. The statues were made using an assembly line method, with separate parts put together. They also had real bronze weapons like swords and spears. The Terracotta Army gives us a peek into the ancient Chinese military and has become a famous tourist spot. 24. Human being painting in Magura Cave. The Magura Cave in northwestern Bulgaria has some of the oldest cave paintings in Europe, made about 8,000 to 10,000 years ago. These paintings were done by people from a long time ago and show what their lives were like. The art shows many things, like people doing rituals and ceremonies, hunting deer, wild horses, and other animals. There are also pictures of gods and supernatural beings, which are pretty rare. The cave has drawings of people in different poses, like dancing or hunting, and also has some abstract designs. The paintings were made using bat poop mixed with water to create paint, so they really got creative there. 25. Indonesian Pig. The Indonesian pig is an ancient cave painting found in Ling Karampuang Cave on Sulawesi Island, Indonesia. This painting is over 51,000 years old, making it the oldest cave art with a clear date, beating other old paintings by more than 5,000 years. The painting shows a big wild pig, called the Sulawesi warty pig, standing up on its back legs. Next to it are three small figures that look like humans. The figures are painted in dark red and seem to be interacting with the pig, suggesting that the artwork might be telling a story. 26. Paintings of Evolution in Seminole Canyon State Park. The paintings in Seminole Canyon State Park are old rock art made by people long ago. These paintings, from around 4200 to 2500 BCE, show how early people in Texas expressed themselves. The art is part of something called the Pecos River style, which is a special way of painting seen in this area. The pictures in the canyon show human-like and animal-like figures. They often show hunting scenes, rituals, and important symbols, giving us a peek into what these ancient people believed and did. They used natural colors from the land to paint on cave walls, which served as their canvas. 27. Nike of Samothrace. The Nike of Samothrace, also called the Winged Victory of Samothrace, is an amazing ancient Greek statue of the goddess Nike, who represents victory. Made around 190 BC, it's one of the best examples of Greek art from that time. The statue is made from marble and is about 9 feet tall. It shows Nike landing on the front of a ship, celebrating a big win at sea. The statue's wings and flowing clothes make it look like it's moving with the wind. Even though the statue is missing its head and arms, it still looks dramatic. The right wing is a modern replacement, but the left wing is the original one. Discovered in 1863 on the island of Samothrace by a French archaeologist, it was part of a monument honoring the gods for a naval victory. 28. The Spotted Horses. The spotted horses in Pechmerle Cave, found in southwestern France, are some of the most famous ancient cave paintings. These artworks were created about 25,000 years ago by people from the Gravettian culture. The paintings show 2 horses placed back to back with spots on their bodies made using black and red colors. The rock's natural shapes were used to make the horses look more lifelike. The horses are surrounded by handprints and symbols, and while we don't know exactly what the spots mean, some think they might have been symbolic or used for rituals. The spotted horses are part of a larger collection of about 570 images in the cave, including other animals, people, and geometric shapes. The cave was discovered in 1922 by some local kids and is now a place where people can go to see and learn about these ancient artworks. Do you think there are more ancient paintings or art out there that we humans haven't come across yet? Or are they being hidden from us?